Quick turnaround, a day game after a night game. Petco Park in San Diego. Looks like it'll be jumping again today. There was a sellout last night as over 40,000 saw the Padres take game one of this quick two-game series. So today the A's will try to bounce back, get a win, get on a bus and head to Anaheim. So it'll be a quick bus trip straight north from San Diego to Anaheim. Sean Manaea gets the ball today. Good matchup with a couple of very talented left-handers. Manaea for the A's and Blake Snell for the San Diego Padres. So the Padres take the field, and we are just about set for baseball. Let's take a look at the starting lineup for the Athletics. It's brought to you by your Bay Area GMC dealers. Here it is. Left fielder Mark Canha will lead it off. Center fielder Ramon Laureano bats second. Then Matt Olson is at first, hitting third. Jed Lowry in the cleanup spot at second. Murphy hits fifth, and he'll do the catching. Matt Chapman in the sixth spot. Steven Piscotty starts today in right field. Elvis Andrews is the shortstop. And batting ninth. He can hit, folks. He can hit. Sean Manaea.
Little bit of familiarity here as Blake Snell acquired from the Tampa Bay Rays in the offseason, starting for the San Diego Padres. This will be his fourth start against the A's in his career. 19th start for the Padres. He is yet to exceed 7 innings, and of course, the most memorable was last year against the Dodgers in the World Series when he was removed after 6 innings, pitching just outstanding baseball against the Dodgers. Dodgers came back and won, but Blake Snell has not really done what the Padres had hoped, although pitching very well at Petco Park. Not a lot of run support. So I hope the A's can do that again today and try to shut down the offense of the Padres.
Defensively for the Padres, Tommy Pham's in left. Jurickson Profar gets a start in center today. Will Myers is in right. Machado, Tatis, Frazier, and Cronenworth around the infield, third to first. And the catcher is Austin Nola. So a few changes for the Padres, and you see some of their versatility with Frazier being able to come in and play second base, and Cronenworth, who started at second base, he's at first base today. Eric Hosmer getting the afternoon off. Manny Machado, big hit last night, a 3-run homer. It's about the way the Padres write these things up. Machado, a 3-run homer. Tatis, a 2-run homer. The bullpen is pretty good, and that's what happened last night. And when it was all said and done, it was a 7-4 San Diego Padres victory. So the A's will try to get a win and get out of town today. So lots of A's fans in San Diego last night, and I would say if you were an A's fan at the ballpark last night, you're probably back there today. Why not? Looks like a beautiful day in San Diego. So Mark Canha steps in against Blake Snell, wearing the number 4, which anytime you see a single-digit number on a pitcher, it's always a little bit strange, but there's a couple guys who have it. So Canha, Laureano, and Olson, the first 3 in the A's batting order. Canha 1 for 5 last night. Had a single, scored a run. He made the final out of the game. A little bit high, 2-0.
Blake Snell basically a 4-pitch pitcher. Good fastball, as he's thrown 2 very good ones to Mark Canha, but they've both been up and out of the strike zone. Feature a curve, slider, and changeup.
Umpires today: Ryan Blackney calling balls and strikes. DJ Rayhern, Brian Onora, and that's Fieldon Culbreth, who's at third, and he is the crew chief. .30 pitch to Canha, and he walked him. This is an issue for Blake Snell. I'm not talking obvious after throwing 4 straight balls, but he can get wild sometimes. So leadoff man aboard. A's offensively in the last 27 games, 3.7 runs per game. So really anytime you get under maybe 4.5 runs per game, it's a little bit of an issue. The batting average low, runners in scoring position low, and 31 home runs in 27 games. So it has been a little bit of a struggle offensively, and you saw down at the bottom, when it's all said and done, the most important thing is the record. And in those 27 games, the A's 11-16. So the A's felt like they needed to bolster their offense, and they did with a trade today. If you're just joining us, I'm sure you've heard. If you haven't, Starling Marte is an Athletic. Trade from the Marlins, Marte for Jesus Luzardo, and Marte will be in uniform tomorrow night in Anaheim. So we'll look forward to seeing that. 1-1 the count to Ramon Laureano.
First pitch to Laureano is a curveball after 4 fastballs missed up high. It kind of brought him down into the zone now. Good fastball evens the count at 1-1.
That one cued towards second, and Frazier will take the out at first. So Laureano's retired. He does move the runner up. That'll bring up Matt Olson.
The stripes on those uniforms of the Padres make you a little bit dizzy.
Yeah. Some people love the Padres uniforms and their colors. Other people don't. I'm not sure. Just not sure. I'd like to take a side. I'd like to pick a side, but I'm just not sure.
You know, up close they seem to be okay, but it's the distance where you get kind of. Ooh.
Well, I mean, when your lead color is brown, you certainly are starting out in a tough spot.
Yeah.
They have worked through that. The gold trim certainly helps the situation. Of course, any uniform looks good on Fernando Tatis.
He makes it look good.
Looked good in the All-Star uniform. What was that tight? 0-1 to Olson. Canna dancing off big time. There's a swing and a miss. 0-2. Canna almost looked like he was going to take off.
Yeah, and it's a little bit distracting sometimes to a hitter when I see that happening. You figure he's going to be going. A good breaking ball from Snell.
So 0-2 to Olson with Lowry waiting in the on-deck circle. So early scoring opportunity for the A's. They had a 3-0 lead in last night's game. They scored 3 in the top of the third. Fastball in on the hands and foul back by Olson. Blake Snell is 28 years old. He's a big kid, 6'4", 225 pounds. High draft pick of the Rays.
Just another pitcher signed, brought up through the organization and traded. That seems to be what the Rays do. They've done a good job as they continue to have success.
Rays got 4 minor leaguers for Snell. Canna's running, and Canna is going to be safe as the ball trickles away from Machado. So Mark Canna, he was itching to go at second base, and he finally did. And let's see if Machado ever had control of this baseball.
Snell didn't look, and that's the reason.
No, he never caught it.
He never caught it, and fortunately knocked the ball down, as he might have looked up to see where Canna was, because the throw was okay. It was at about knee high, and so now all of a sudden the A's have a chance to bring him home.
Rolled foul, another breaking ball. Count stays 1-2. Breaking it down a little bit on Blake Snell. Road games, not good. Home games, very good.
Yeah,
he's tough to figure out this year because, I mean, we know the stuff is great. We've seen him.
Absolutely. Yeah, the 143 on an average at home, pretty impressive.
But this was what Ray was talking about in Game 6 of the World Series, with the Rays down 3-2. Snell, 5 1/3 innings, gives up 2 hits, 1 run, 9 strikeouts, and after 73 pitches, they take him out. He gave up a 1-out single, and they took him out.
Yeah.
And 3 batters later, The Dodgers had the lead, and they never gave up the lead.
And Mookie Betts, the first 3 batters in the Dodgers lineup, Snell had struck out all 3 a total of 6 times.
Yep. And Betts was the hitter that was coming up when they took him out.
And Betts went to Dave Roberts and said, "We got this," because when they made that move, that was it. Snell was not happy. I mean, it's an elimination game. Forget about all the analytics. You look at the pitcher, how he's pitching.
Olson pops a foul back. And listen, we all saw it. Everybody has an opinion. You have an opinion. I have an opinion. There is nothing the Rays can say that makes any sense to me about taking him out.
I agree. You can't
they
justify
came up with some different, this, that, and the other thing. At 73 pitches, elimination game. If you lose, you're done.
That's right.
To take him out after 73 pitches, give up 2 hits, 9 strikeouts. I just never ever figured that out, and all the reasons that were given, none of them added up.
No, I agree. I agree.
So good at bat for Olson. So a couple of more walks here for Snell. Snell has now walked 53 hitters in 80 2/3 innings this year. And talk to the Padres people. This is what it is. A lot of base runners. That's Chase Tingler at the helm of the Padres. Here's Lowry. So you get the feeling, Ray, that Snell is one of those guys. And listen, Snell won the Cy Young a handful of years back, 2018. But when you watch him pitch, you get the feeling that he's very frustrating for the manager and the pitcher.
Oh, yeah.
Because the whole package is there.
Yeah, the stuff is there. It's just the results are not what you're expecting.
In 2018, Snell won the Cy Young. He was 21-5 with a 1.89 ERA. Since then, he's gone 6-8, 4-2, and this year 4-3. So 14-13 since that. But he showed he can do it on the big stage, so that adds to the resume. Don't think Olson's going to be running, but Snell, he's determined to really take his time.
And you know what? That may be Snell. I mean, because, well, I would say all throwovers come from the dugout, but sometimes a pitcher just does not feel comfortable, and by throwing to first base, he tries to get that comfortable feeling, and maybe that's what Snell's doing right now.
Lowry swung at a ball there, 1-1. So there's the breakdown. The big season in 2018 that got him the Cy Young Award. Then 6-8, 4.29 ERA. Last year in the short season, 4-2, 3.24 ERA, and then the trade to the Padres, and he's had some good games with the Padres, but it's been kind of an inconsistent season. And when you're the Padres and you have high expectations and you traded 4 minor leaguers to get him, and you picked up a huge contract in Snell, you're probably looking for a little more.
He knows it.
Yeah.
Padres know it. The fans know it. So here we are approaching August 1st, and the numbers aren't where the Padres had hoped they would be.
Lowry hits one very high in the air to center. That's Profar going back. He's still going back 2 steps onto the warning track. He grabs it. Canna hustles in to score. And the A's grab a 1-0 lead on the long sacrifice fly by Jed Lowry. RBI number 50 for Jed Lowry.
a Mark Canna run, and Jed Lowry getting the high breaking ball straight away center field. It's a huge park at Petco Park. But Mark Canna getting to second and then stealing third gets this A's first run of the ball game. Because if he's still at second base, Matt Olson walks. And that's the second out, still at first and second.
0-1 to Sean Murphy. Murphy with a homer last night in the 8th inning. He also had an RBI double. So he now has 47 RBIs.
Well, Murphy, a very strong young man, does a very good job behind the plate. Off of Drew Pomeranz fastball, but again, another solo.
Swing and a miss. And now it's 1-2, 94 miles an hour. 23 pitches here in the first inning for Blake Snell.
Got the pitch, the fastball, but a little bit high. Always got to feel pretty good, all those throwovers. Make him feel.
It's just
like,
the threat.
Yeah.
It's just the threat.
Make him feel like that they think he's a big base stealer. But I don't know if he's anxiously waiting to.
No swing as they checked with DJ Rayburn. That was close.
Naya anxiously waiting to take the mound or to actually hit. Good block. Nice check swing according to the first base umpire. That's the strength of Sean Murphy. Anytime you can check swing on a pitch down low.
Big curve. He did not go that time. 3-2. So full count, and Olson will indeed run now. In the dirt, he walked him. That's 3 walks in the inning.
Yeah, it's amazing. Good fastball, upper 90s. And he finds he does not have control with that, so he resorts to a 3-2 slider. He's talking about the rosin bag, because I don't know if he feels like there's moisture or no moisture or something on the rosin bag, because he pointed to it to Nola and now to Larry Rothschild. So that's 2 mound visits in the first inning. What he was, but he definitely was pointing back to it. So I don't know if typically it's kind of just ground up substance that I guess is like a stickum. Evidently not enough for some.
So here's Chapman, 2 on, 2 out for the A's with a run in here in the first. Chapman in a good swing. Fastball out over the plate. Matt Chapman last night 1 for 4 at a base hit. That one is hit deep to left field, and that baby is gone. He jumped on what looked like a high fastball, Ray, and he turned it around, and it's 4-0. The A's lead.
And finally, the A's get a home run with runners on base, and even more so, Matt Chapman. Good swing on the first pitch from Snell, and even better swing on the second pitch. There's your high fastball, belt high, and it was gone in a heartbeat. I mean, it was no more swung on, gone.
It almost looked like the swing he had on the first pitch timed him up a little bit.
Exactly.
So 4-0, the A's lead here in the first. Starting pitcher liked it. How can you not? On the ground to Tatis, and that will do it. Big inning for the A's. They get a sacrifice fly from Lowry, and then big blow Matt Chapman, a 3-run shot, his 13th home run of the year. So Sean Manaea takes the mound with a 4-0 lead. And it's 4-0, and now let's take a look at the Padres starting lineup, brought to you by your Bay Area GMC dealers. Frazier's at second base today. Tatis at short. Machado at third. Pham is your cleanup hitter. Cronenworth is at first. Will Myers in right. Austin Nola is your catcher. Jurickson Profar is the center fielder, and then the pitcher, Blake Snell. So Sean Manaea, the big left-hander, looking for his 8th win of the year. I thought that start that he had in Seattle with the 13 strikeouts, it just looked like Ray, he just trusted his fastball and had a lot of confidence in it.
Absolutely.
And he just kept throwing it, and he just kept getting swing throughs.
And that's 3 pitches today, all fastballs. 21st start for the big left-hander. He's won 7 games, on average 3.16. Sean has done a great job, and the strikeout to walk ratio is tremendous. Gets a 4 spot in the first inning, takes the mound, and he can rely on basically what he did last Thursday against the Mariners. And that, like you said, is a fastball. Now he's got a 4 spot, facing a pretty good lineup.
Tatis check swing, fouls it back. Tatis, his 31st home run of the year last night. 31 homers, 69 RBIs, and a .293 batting average. Tatis also had a double. He's got 20 doubles on the year.
Tatis kind of reminds me of a golfer that you look at his physique and not really that strong looking at him, but he can hit the ball a ton, and that's what the golfers do. You look at those guys and you wonder how they hit the ball so far, but Tatis is special, very special.
Yeah, I wouldn't say physically, I wouldn't say he's an imposing figure, athletic looking, but with the bat speed, he gets it going.
That ball is crushed.
So 2-2 the count. And there's that good fastball, and it's a swing and a miss. 95 miles an hour. That may be what we're seeing from Sean Manaea a little bit too, Ray, is the velocity that he's showing in games seems to be holding deep into the game, and that was not always the case the last couple years. He would start at 92, 93, and sometimes you'd see it down to 89, 90 later in the game. It seems like this year it's staying up the velocity.
And he can elevate, and when he elevates with that velocity, that's the result you get, and that was what Fernando Tatis got.
1-0 to Manny Machado. Machado's home run last night, his 18th of the year. He hit it out to right field. That's a strike. Call the ball. 3-1.
Well, that is a strike.
Yep. You have to reward the pitcher if he makes a pitch like that. Murphy coming over. So is Olsen, but into the seats.
Pitch up and away to Manny Machado last night from Petit, and that's what he does. Well, hit the top of the wall. That's a big blow.
Yeah, it was 4-3 at that point, and then he hit that, and the lead got extended to 7-3. Active players in their batting average against the Athletics. Manny Machado is 4th. David Fletcher, it's only 348.
He's actually made out.
I would have said 400. Good changeup and a very good first inning for Minaya. He strikes out Tatis and Machado. 4-0 A's after 1.
And enjoy some of baseball when these Padres that you're watching right now visit Oakland for a 2-game series beginning this Tuesday. Come support the green and gold as they face off in an interleague matchup against these Padres. Tickets start at just $19. Get yours at athletics.com/tickets. Man, does that look good. Look at that.
Yeah, that looks nice. Pretty tough to beat San Diego in its weather.
Yeah. Especially when the fog is not rolling in. You get a day like that day. Be hard to pick. You're going to watch your Padres or go out on your boat.
Sanders shoots one to left for a base hit. Pass to diving Machado. So Snell right back into the stretch.
Well, this is tough for Bob Melvin. It's the 8th place hitter, and Elvis Andrus with a solid base hit. So Elvis Andrus takes the first pitch and then jumps on the second one. Then Manny Machado just almost like he didn't need to dive for the ball. Ball ended up going over his glove. But the dilemma is this: if you're Bob Melvin, you got a guy hitting 1,000. Do you have him sacrifice?
Looks like it. And
yeah.
I mean, this is the A's version of Shohei Ohtani, Sean Manaea. I mean, come on. You think we're joking here?
How about that? Head down.
There was 2 hits here, folks.
Speed also.
That was when he had the on-again, off-again relationship with the jacket. Couldn't quite decide what he wanted to do there. He's going to bunt this time, though. 2 for 2. He's 3 for 12 in his career as a hitter. Last 3 at bats, 3 for 3. Just get your knuckles out of the way.
Yeah. You know, that is the biggest thing, whether you're a position player or pitcher. There's a technique. You do not wrap your hand around the bat to bunt. Look where Machado's playing, just halfway. So bunt the ball to first.
And he does, and that is a very good bunt. So Sean Manaea helps himself out. Nicely done. Get right back into the dugout. And the A's Rays have a runner in scoring position for Mark Canha. Snell walked 3 in the first inning. All 3 scored. Well, he looks like a hitter. He runs like a hitter. Canha takes low. Canha walked, stole a base, scored a run in the first inning. A's in the game last night were 3 for 12 with runners in scoring position. This may work, and it will work. Elvis Andrus read it all the way. He comes in to score. That's an RBI single for Canha. 5-0, the A's lead.
You said it perfectly, because if you don't read it perfectly, you're not going to score, and Elvis Andrus did exactly that. So a successful bunt. Ball hit off the end of the bat by Mark Canha, and Elvis Andrus at second base. A base hit himself. He's able to score easily without a throw.
So Canha gets his 35th run batted in. And here's Ramon Laureano, who takes a strike on the inside corner. Be interesting, Ray, to see what happens tomorrow night with the lineup, with Starling Marte arriving, and obviously he's going to play every day. Starling Marte is, I mean, he can play all 3 outfield positions, but he's basically a center fielder. He's won a couple Gold Gloves. He's very good outfield. We'll see if Bob Melvin puts Marte in right field or left field, or would he put Marte in center and put Laureano in right? That's not out of the question.
No, and I think there's going to be a conversation regardless, and that's something that Bob Melvin does very well. Probably starts with Ramon Laureano, because he probably already has a decision made as to where he's going to play Marte. And if it means moving Laureano to right field, the conversation probably will start with him.
I mean, we don't know that that's going to happen. It's just it is one of the possibilities that Bob Melvin in the front office I'm sure will discuss. At Petco this season, first 7 starts, 7 runs allowed. We show you the great home ERA earlier, Blake Snell, but today, inning and a third, 5 runs allowed.
Good night last night for Ramon Laureano, as he did his part offensively, as he had 3 hits. This is the first one, and busted it down the line as he always does, running very hard, and then jumped on his fastball, pulled it down the left field line past Frazier.
One-two pitch in the dirt. 43 pitches for Snell.
When you have success, as Snell has had at Petco Park coming into today, I mean, it's a great feeling. And all of a sudden, can't throw a strike. You end up giving up a 3-run home run in the first inning.
So it goes from 0-2 to 3-2. Padre fans don't sound real happy right now with Blake Snell.
Larry Rothschild, the pitching coach, back with his arm folded, and manager Tingler in front. And
Larry's seen it all in his time.
yeah, it's got to be frustrating for him.
Canna runs, swing and a miss, strike 3. The throw is going to be in time. Tag put on Canna. So it ends up being a strike him out, throw him out, double play, a run for the A's. They lead 5-0. Sean Manaea, who off to a good start, couple of strikeouts in the first inning. Last 11 starts, the record 4-4, the ERA 2.26, and we've seen it firsthand, Ray. He's had some great starts where there just has not been a lot of offensive help, but he has certainly done his job. In fact, he had a stretch. 5 starts, he was 0-4 with a no decision. And he really pitched pretty well in all of the starts. I mean, he had a couple that were not great, but he could easily have a couple more wins. All in all, a fine season for Manaea. His ERA is 5th in the league. 8th in innings pitched. 21 starts. He's also 8th in the league in strikeouts. So quite a season for Sean Manaea, and let's hope he stays strong right on through the final 2 months. If he can keep pitching the way he's pitching, then start thinking about getting to the postseason, and you got Bassett and Manaea right at the front of any series that you may play in.
Just watching Manaea, he's getting a little bit extra following through. And of course, anytime you can extend, makes it a lot better.
One and 2 to Jake Cronenworth. Cronenworth 2 for 4 last night. He had a 2-run single and also scored a run. So Cronenworth has turned into a very fine player for the Padres.
This again last night against Caprillion, and this is huge. A couple of runners scored, and I would say that he goes a little bit under the radar, although a very good player, good hitter. But when you have Tatis and Machado, it says a lot about what Cronenworth can do.
Well, the Rays have made a lot of good trades over the years, Ray, but this was not one of them. Cronenworth and Tommy Pham to the Padres for Hunter Renfroe and a minor leaguer, Xavier Edwards, who's a pretty good prospect. Hunter Renfroe, just 1 year with the Rays, was not very good, and he's gone. He's doing well in Boston. Did not help the Rays out a whole lot.
The appeal to third base is because of this falling down. Did the bat go through the zone? I think Cronenworth realized as the ball was coming at him, he just did not want to follow through and have his bat go.
3-2 now to Cronenworth. Slowly hit toward Lowry, who scoops it up, flips to first, 2 away.
And that right there is the reason that Sean Manaea has a very good strikeout to walk ratio. Gets to 3-2, says here it is, hit it. And always said it doesn't guarantee. Just because 3-2, 3-1, 2-0 hitters count. The hitter's going to get a pitch to hit.
So here's Will Myers. Will Myers was not in the starting lineup last night. He is pretty much the Padres' everyday right fielder. He did pinch hit in the game. In fact, he had a single, infield single in the 8th inning last night. Twelve home runs and 45 RBIs for Myers, along with 15 doubles. Two and one the count. Padres come into the game 5.5 games back in the NL West. They did pick up a game on the second place Dodgers. Dodgers lost last night and the Padres won. And those are the two wild card teams right now in the National League. Dodgers being the #1 wild card team and the Padres #2.
When in doubt, utilize the fastball, which Sean and I again going right at it.
Here's the West standing. You see the Dodgers 2.5 games ahead of the Padres. And he stayed with the changeup and he got the strikeout. So 6 up, 6 down with 3 strikeouts for Sean Manaea. 3rd inning coming up.
With a special edition foam finger trident. Come riders of the wave, just like the green and gold. Early arriving fans can snag a new foam finger. That's Saturday, August the 7th. Catch a weekend game, enjoy a happy hour drink, and get the A's new foam finger trident. Grab your tickets for August the 7th today at athletics.com/tickets. Ooh. That's a big one.
I think I don't know if that's the one that you can visit, walk through, shows you everything. I think it is.
But if you want to spend a few days just walking through boats, that's the place to go.
That's true. 1-1 the count to Matt Olson. Big fella.
I think they fly planes off that one, don't they?
It always makes me laugh. You know, charter flights, right? We've all been on them. Unfortunately, not this year, but it's just automatic. You can bet on it that every time we land, somebody's going to yell, "Coming in hot!"
Yeah.
Well, when you're landing a plane on one of those,
yeah,
that's coming in hot.
That's right.
That's the ultimate coming in. Profar hustling over into left center field, and he grabs it. So 1 away here in the top of the 3rd. Well, I think the Padres, as an organization, Ray, have probably gained an advantage on a lot of teams because the location. It's always been great, right, San Diego, but they weren't a winning organization.
Right.
Well, now they're getting to the point where they are. They have a beautiful ballpark, and now that ballpark is starting to fill up.
Yeah.
That makes it a very attractive place to play for players.
Weather, great.
And, you know, I mean, listen, they have showed that they are now willing to spend money. I mean, if you think about what they did this past offseason, they got Yu Darvish in a trade. But not only are you getting Yu Darvish, but you're getting his contract. Yu Darvish has 3 years and $62 million left on his contract. That includes this year. And he's been great. But you're picking up a huge contract. Same thing with Snell. Snell has 2 more years left on a contract after this year. And including this year, that's $40 million that you're picking up. They traded for Joe Musgrove. And then they gave Fernando Tatis, of course, the huge contract. So you start showing players that you're willing to spend money. That's a big deal. So 2-2 the count to Jed Lowry. And now 3-2. The Tatis contract was 14 years, $340 million. I guess that's a financial commitment. Grounded right to Machado. Scoops it up. So 2 outs here in the 3rd. Here's Murphy in 3 up, 3 down inning. Blake Snell is jonesing to have a 3 up, 3 down inning. See if he can do it. He's at 56 pitches. First 2 innings were very long for him. Good changeup there by Snell.
I think Snell is just trying to figure out which pitch or pitches will work the best and go from there. He's tried all of them.
The problem is if you're searching, and maybe even if you do find out, hey, this pitch is all right, I'm going to go with this one today. It's 5-0. Snell actually showing a little frustration there. One-two pitch to Murph. Hit hard but foul. Murphy walked and scored in the 1st. He walked right before the Chapman home run. He got a fastball, popped it up. Looks like Cronenworth's going to have a play, and he does. So Snell gets a 3 up, 3 down inning. We're headed to the bottom of the 3rd. A's 5, Padres nothing. Right behind home plate. Can have a lot of fun with that. So 5-0 the A's lead. Bottom of the 3rd. Sean Manaea has retired the first 6 that he has faced with 3 strikeouts. Facing Austin Nola, Jurickson Profar, and then the pitcher Blake Snell. Nola with the Mariners last year came over in that trade in the middle of the short season. out to be actually a pretty big trade. One and two the count. Another foul ball. Mariners sent Nola, Austin Adams, and Dan Montevilla to the Padres for Ty France, Luis Torrens, Taylor Trammell. You've seen all three of those guys in the big leagues. Andres Munoz, a minor leaguer. So it could turn out to be actually, really has turned out to be a pretty good trade for the Mariners, because France is an everyday player for them. Torrance plays a lot. Good pitch, strike three called right on the inside corner. 4 strikeouts now for Sean Manaea.
Well, once again, can't emphasize the usage of the fastball and dotting it inside part of the plate. Perfectly thrown pitch.
Here's Profar. Profar pinch hit in last night's game. Reached down a fielder's choice. Profar playing center field. He is really another big piece of the versatility for the Padres. Just looking at where Profar has played this year, he has started 7 games at first base, 3 at second base, 23 in left field, 19 in center field. So he is all over the place.
But it's nice to have his versatility. See the straight up infield and outfield. What a sight that is, huh?
Yeah.
Gosh, it's beautiful.
Check swing to the screen. Count stays 1-2.
High fastball. See there again, even though it's out of the strike zone completely, hard to lay off. Check swing.
Like there's anybody in the on-deck circle for the Padres, so it could be seeing what happens to Profar. What happens to Profar as he's retired. So 2 away, and now a word from Tahoe Blue. So Snell will stay in the game and hit. Takes the first pitch strike. Snell has 4 hits in 22 at bats. That's a 182 batting average. 9 strikeouts.
Even though he's down by 5 runs, sure. Padres do not want to go to the bullpen so early. I'm sure they feel they have enough firepower to come back, and that's why the A's important for them to keep adding on.
5th strikeout for Sean Manaea. He's been good so far. So have the A's. They lead 5-0 after 3. Tony Gwynn outside the ballpark in San Diego, and well, if anybody should have a statue, it would be the guy they called Mr. Padre.
Mr. Padre.
He was Mr. Padre. What a terrific player Tony Gwynn was.
He could do it all. If you wanted a single, you get a single. If you needed a home run, you had the power to do that. 3,000 plus hits. Probably one of the highlights that I remember is whenever they had the top 100 in Boston. They brought Ted Williams out in a golf cart. And Tony Gwynn was there. Two of the all-time greatest. Matter of fact, he was a disciple of the great Ted Williams, was Tony Gwynn.
And unfortunately, Tony passed away in 2014 at the young age of just 54. And there it is, out the outfield. Yeah, he was larger than life in San Diego. It's always fun to look at somebody like Tony Gwynn's career stats because there's so much to take in. But he also had 319 career stolen bases, so he'd swipe a bag for you if needed. But this is the best one, Ray. 790 career walks, 434 career strikeouts.
And he used.
Come on. Seriously, I'm looking at his strikeout totals, Ray. It's unbelievable.
Yeah.
I didn't even realize that the most he ever struck out in a season, 40. I mean, we're talking.
Some guys do that in a month.
How about this? How about this? 1995, and I'm just pulling this season. 135 games. 577 plate appearances. 15 strikeouts. And there's numerous seasons just like that.
Well, Tony Gwynn could do this also. And Matt Chapman did not waste any time. This ball was swung on, gone. A's were looking for that. Matt Chapman especially looking for that. 3 walks in the inning. All 3 scored.
A's almost feel like, and this may be very obvious, but it almost feels like they've been waiting for a 3-run homer.
Yeah. Yeah, we've been talking about his solo home runs.
A little flare to right, and Chapman will take that. It drops in for a hit. Hit number 4 for the A's.
Pull the ball hard to left field and then fire the ball off to right field. Chapman will take both of them, especially this one. Matt Chapman probably saying, I didn't strike out 0-2, and sure everybody's thinking that's what was going to happen in the first inning after Snell walked the bases loaded.
Piscotty with a flare to right. Chapman races around second. He's going to ease into third, and the A's have first and third. Nobody out here in the 4th inning.
Well, I feel badly for Blake Snell, but that's about all you're going to do is feel a little bit badly for him. Nobody in the A's is going to feel it. Stephen Piscotty, who had the big home run we talked about in 2018 down in San Diego. Chappie read that perfectly, able to get to third base.
Well, the manager, Chase Tingler, may have to make a move at some point. Snell did have a 3-up, 3-down 3rd inning. Maybe he was back on track.
See, that's a tough pitch to lay off, the hard slider. That's the hard back foot slider we talk about, that if you can throw it successfully. If hitters don't pick up the spin, you're going to get a swing and miss.
Fastball fouled straight back. So now Elvis behind in the count 1-2.
If you're in the fourth inning, having thrown 69 pitches, that's why your manager's in the top step ready to make a move.
Well, and this is, this is the National League lineup thing, right? This is a huge at bat.
Yeah.
Because the pitcher is next.
Exactly.
So you want your 8th place hitter to get it done, even if he has to expand his strike zone a little bit. There's a little bit of an art to being an 8th place hitter in the National League lineup.
Well, looks like it's Snell's game.
And that's a good take. Snell got Andrews to swing at that a couple pitches before, but not that time.
That's a good 2-strike approach for a hitter to be able to take that pitch.
Chapman at third, Piscotty at first. Tap to the right side. Cronenworth doesn't have any place to go, and everybody's safe. Chapman comes in to score. Cronenworth spun around a couple times and didn't get anybody, and the A's catch a break, and the A's lead 6-0. I think Cronenworth, he actually thought about going to second, Ray, and I think that's the mistake that he made, because he wasn't going to get Chapman coming home.
And he wasn't going to get Piscotty going to second base either, because at that point Piscotty was nearing second base, and then Blake Snell barehanded the ball, foot race. Elvis Andrus finally spurred right there at the end and able to beat it out. So they take that base hit.
So 3 straight hits, none of them will fall into the line drive category, but that's okay. So hit and an RBI, and it sets it up perfectly for Manaea to try to lay down a sacrifice bunt, which he did successfully in the second inning.
Cap, you talked about the versatility of Cronenworth last night at second base, but the fact that moving to first base today, maybe just a little confusion as to what to do in that particular situation.
And it's bunted. Machado's going to go to third, and they got the out there. And they throw. Did he throw back to first? And yes, he did, but not in time to get Manaea. So Machado made a nice play. I mean, you cannot hesitate there at all.
Well, it's the old wheel play too, and that's the thing, that it's a pre-planned play. Third baseman charges. And actually, Manaea did it the best way. You try to force the third baseman to make the play. Well, he did.
So Manaea now at first, Andrews at second, 1 away, and here's Canna. Mark Canha walking a run scored in the first, an RBI single in the second. Keep an eye on that, Ray. Blake Snell never looked back at Elvis Andrus.
I know, and he gets in a habit of doing that. I think that's why Mark Canha stole in the first inning, because he didn't look back. That's when a pitcher concentrates so much on the hitter and throwing strikes that he forgets about the base runners. That time he did, because Elvis Sanders had taken a couple of extra steps. You know, that's what a catcher has to remind the pitcher. You just pay attention. And Marcana, frustrated with himself, got a fastball right down the middle, couldn't do anything with it, or didn't do anything with it.
Fouls the pitch back on 0-2. Hit well toward left center field. Nobody's going to get it. Profar backhands, gets it back in, but not before Elvis Sanders trots in to score. Marcana with his second RBI hit, and it's now 7-0.
And you could also maybe credit Elvis Sanders with that. You talked about Snell not looking back, but right before he hung that curveball, he looked back. And Elvis Andrus had taken a couple of steps, then kind of feinted a little bit, back to second base. And then finally, kind of a quick pitch by Snell at that time, and that's when Canada took advantage of it.
There's nobody warming up in the Padres bullpen, we are being told. There may be soon, but it is 7-0. Looks like now we are going to get some action. Veteran Craig Stammen starting to loosen up. 79 pitches for Blake Snell. Machado's got it, fires to second for one, on to first, not in time. So Manaea will move to third on the fielder's choice. 2 outs now here in the fourth.
Got it on the hands of Laureano and maybe just not hit hard enough. And Frazier kind of short armed the ball to first base. Not a lot on the throw.
So here's Olson. Marcana, a big day. Olson walked and scored in the first, and then hit a fly ball to center field in the third. See if he can get Manaea home. There are 2 outs.
Unlike the previous at bat when Manaea had a successful sacrifice, got a chance to get back in the dugout and rest a little bit. He's been on the bases the whole time since he was not successful this time.
Off the plate, 2-0.
But I think he'll take a 7-0 lead.
Yeah. Another breaking ball, and it's outside, 3-0.
Not much you can do, Larry. Larry Rothschild, longtime pitching coach. Excellent baseball man.
Snell misses badly, and the bases are loaded. Well, the hitter is Lowry. Let's see if the Padres are going to do anything. Snell walked 3 in the first inning. That's his first walk since then. So 4 walks and just 1 strikeout for Blake Snell. This is a guy who, coming in today, had 104 strikeouts in 80 innings.
Yeah.
So not a lot of strikeouts, obviously, and really not a lot of swings and misses. Jed Lowry, a sacrifice fly in the first and a ground out in the third. Cronenworth has it, and Snell grabs it with his bare hand, and that will do it. 2 more runs for the A's. So as we head to the bottom of the 4th inning, the A's now lead it 7-0.
Good score for the Athletics.
Sorry, Ray.
7-0 is. How about this one? This is. I love this. Predict the longest home run down the stretch with the MLB Moonblast pick presented by FTX, and compete to win $100,000 worth of Bitcoin or cash. Restrictions apply. See rules and enter at MLB.com/pick'em. Tell you what, some of them are hit so hard on line drives they may not go the distance, or at least a large distance, but they can leave the park early, as Matt Chapman's did in the first inning. There have been some long shots, and guys just feel that if they can hit home runs, they're going to make a lot of money, and usually that is the case.
Well, it seems like every one of Ohtani's home runs is 440 feet. Another one last night that was a long one. I mean, there's no wall scrapers there. Here's the leadoff man, Adam Frazier. Sean Manaea has gone 9 up, 9 down with 5 strikeouts his first time through the Padres lineup. So you are able to shut down this Padres lineup. That is a feat, because it is a very good lineup. Padres second in the National League in runs scored. Sixth in the league in home runs. They walk a lot, second most walks in the National League. Oh, 2 pitch, and that's a swing and a miss and a high breaking ball. 6 strikeouts for Manaea. So 1 away. StatCast 3D is powered by Google Cloud. This is home run hang time. You heard that before?
No.
Last night it was in the air. 6.10 seconds. So there's your moon blast. That's a new one, huh?
Oh,
home run hang time.
Oh, yeah.
Most home runs hit over 440 feet this season. Ohtani and Tatis both with 8. Guerrero was 6. Cunha was 6. Gallo was 6.
And Joey Gallo would have some hang time.
Yeah, no question. So the 440-foot club.
If those shots at the Coliseum that Joey Gallo hit weren't some moonshots, I don't know what were.
Tatis last night was 440. Ohtani's last night was, I didn't see the exact number. I think it was over 440. There's your hang time. There's your distance.
There's your bat flip.
That's a long one. Good pitch there. Manaea with a changeup, and he is dealing right now. Sean Manaea.
Sometimes you just don't feel you have it, and I think Tatis feels that he doesn't have it today, but Sean Manaea does. Backing up his last start against the Mariners, he had 13 strikeouts, so 20 strikeouts his last 2 starts, and we're not talking about 9-inning starts either.
Well, he has struck out 5 of the last 6 hitters he has faced as Manny Machado steps in. Run a fastball in on Machado.
If you talked about the velocity, maintaining it, well, if you keep your pitch count down, I mean, talked about the strikeout to walk ratio for Sean Manaea. By not walking batters as opposed to Snell today, you're looking at the ability to keep the pitch count down, keep the velocity up.
Machado struck out swinging in the first inning. Looks too like when Manaea, when he misses with that changeup, he misses off the plate. He doesn't let it leak over the plate. Tapped out in front. Manaea has it. Lob to first, and 12 up, 12 down for Sean Manaea. He is dealing, folks. 7-0 A's after 4. 7th and the 14th picks. How about that? Bonte, Mully, Durrell, and Monty are ready to break down the action and what it means for the Dubs roster next season. Tomorrow at 9 o'clock on NBC Sports Bay Area. 7-0, the A's lead. It's the top of the 5th inning from San Diego. And the Padres have made a pitching change when it's time for change. Think Speedy Oil Change and Auto Service, your trusted oil change, tune-up, and smog experts. The veteran Craig Stammen, he's been around a long time, 37 years old. 11th year in the big leagues, lots of seasons in Washington. This is his 5th season out of the San Diego Padres bullpen, and he's been a good reliever for a long time. 500 career appearances.
Not overpowered with the fastball, but good sinking fastball.
Maybe the Padres version of Yusmeiro Petit.
Yeah, good call.
The numbers for the starting pitcher Blake Snell, not good. 4 innings, 7 hits, 7 runs, 4 walks, and 1 strikeout. He finished with 86 pitches, and quite frankly, he never looked sharp. He walked Mark Canha to open up the game on 4 pitches, and he just never found really anything that was close to a groove. Little flare right center, that's going to find a hole for a hit. A's have had a few of those today, but they'll take it.
Well, and maybe they're looking for anything to turn them around. Trade this morning for Marte from the Marlins. Then all of a sudden this afternoon, look at the last inning. It was Chapman, Piscotty to the opposite field with the Bloops. this inning. Murphy. A's will take whatever they can get, and maybe something that they can look forward to in the future, the remainder of this season, that can help them get their offense going, something that they've really needed to do. You know, the pitchers appreciate it.
Matt Chapman's got that 3-run homer. He also singled and scored in the 4th. Couple trades earlier today, along with the A's acquiring Marte. Tapped foul. Nothing major, but trades nonetheless. And Michael Givens, remember Michael Givens with the Orioles. Now, last couple years he's been with the Rockies. Pretty good reliever, right-hander, but Michael Givens went from the Rockies to the Reds this morning. Reds kind of retooling their bullpen a little bit, trying to make a run at a wild card spot in the National League. And Tyler Anderson, a left-handed starter, went from the Pirates to the Seattle Mariners.
So that's there's more coming.
Well, there needs to be more than that, I think. Tyler Anderson, kind of a crafty lefty. He was with the Giants last year. So that is all the trades that we have heard of so far today. Two pitch to Chapman. He hits it hard, but foul way out in front. Astros the Astros got a reliever, Yimi Garcia, from the Marlins just a little bit ago. Did see that. Yimi Garcia is his name. Swing and a miss. There's a big curveball. Chapman cannot lay off.
This is a ball out of the hand of the pitcher, and Matt Chapman, the craftiness of Stemmen perhaps got him at the breaking ball, and it just kept going down, 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 and finally into the dirt. Chapman, a swing and a miss. He went down to one knee. Nice block by Nola.
So here's Piscotty. Good swing there by Piscotty. Yeah, so the Astros, we're finding out now, the Astros did indeed acquire Yimi Garcia from the Marlins, and he was the Marlins closer. At 15 saves for Miami. So in the last couple days, the Astros have got the Mariners closer and the Marlins closer.
And had a very good closer in Presley.
Yeah.
Right? Presley.
So they have certainly fortified their bullpen. To the count to Stephen Piscotty. Nasty pitch there. Boy, a lot of sinking life, and Piscotty strikes out.
Well, it's nice that Stephen Piscotty gets to hit it against a right hand, even though he gets a great sinking fastball from Sandman. Did not waste any time, went right after him, and great location on the sinker down and in.
So with 2 outs, Elvis Andrus will hit. Good ball game for Elvis. 2 singles, 2 runs scored and an RBI. Elvis hitless last night, but has bounced back today. So 3-0 the count. Saw Manaea, he is the on-deck hitter.
And Esteban is pitching carefully to this 8th place hitter, and Elvis Andrus, and Sean Manaea will get a chance to swing the bat. First 2 ABs, bunts, one successful, the other one not. On the other hand, pitchers usually try to get the 8th place hitter out so they have the pitcher leading off the next inning. But I think from Sean Manaea's standpoint, either way he gets a chance to swing the bat.
In the hole is Tatis. He'll go to second, and the out is recorded there, and that will do it for the Athletics. Bottom of the 5th coming up. 7-0 A's lead.
State good hands replay. How about Sean Manaea? He's faced the Padres 4 innings, 12 batters, 12 outs. Another good outing for Sean Manaea following the one against his last one against the Seattle Mariners, and the last time the A's won was when Sean Manaea pitched against the Mariners that Thursday when he struck out 13, a career high. 20 strikeouts over his last 2 starts, 11 innings, and he's just getting loosened up.
He is on top of it again today. He's retired the first 12 hitters he has faced. He'll see Pham, Cronenworth, and Myers here in the bottom of the 5th inning. First pitch to Tommy Pham, off speed, drops in for a strike. Pham grounded to short in the first inning. 0 for 5 in the series. Swing and a miss. .60 pitches from Manaea. And there's another fastball, just came right at him, 92 miles an hour. Nothing fancy, Ray.
No, you know, when a team gets ahead, sometimes you look at a team, are they going to come back? And team that you're facing, and it seems like the Padres a little lackluster today, but Sean Manaea making some great pitches when he has to.
So he's got 8 strikeouts, and here's Jake Cronenworth. Cronenworth grounded out to second in his first at bat. Swing and a miss as he ran it up and in. So he stayed with the fastball, and he made a great pitch. Just did not get the call.
That was a very good pitch.
Fastball, another foul ball. Count stays 1-2.
Wish I had a pair of shoes with my name on it.
Had your name on it? The Marion Mule. Marion on one foot, Mule on the other. I guess having your name on it is better than having an L and an R, right? We've all been there.
In the case of Sean, they better put an M or spell out the name, because it's Sean Murphy and Sean Manaea.
That's true.
The battery today.
Get the nicknames out. Toward left, Canna's over there, and he's got it. 2 away here in the 5th. And that'll bring up Will Myers. Myers struck out in the 2nd. Struck out on a changeup from Sean Manaea. Started him with fastballs, finished him with changeups. Sean gets the call there.
Back-to-back changes.
Yep.
That's good. I'd say throw it. Probably will not throw it. No way Will Myers is looking to change it.
So a little show me fastball there. Well, I think if you threw that pitch again, Myers may swing at it. Yeah. Outside corner, strike 3 called with a fastball. 9 strikeouts for Sean Manaea. 15 up and 15 down. 6th inning coming up. Start earning tickets for your chance to win a new Jeep on Saturday, August 28th. That is a gorgeous shot. Coast to California. I would not be on one of those skateboards, but
no, definitely not.
You know how many times I've been on a skateboard in my life, Ray?
Probably the same number as I have.
Probably one more time than you have.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I was, I think 13. Skateboard, first time, downhill, flipped off back, broke my wrist, cast on my arm the entire summer.
Done.
My dad looked at me and said, I'll never forget, he looked at me and said, well, that wasn't very smart, was it?
Yeah.
So I guess I'm not going to get much sympathy.
No.
And I did not get any sympathy. So I walked around the whole summer with a cast on me.
He lost a hard hand.
Yeah, that's what he was thinking,
That's what he was upset about.
One time on a skateboard. I look at skateboards now and I just shake my head.
Yeah. All right, Sean, you got a chance to keep that batting average up.
Or we may want him to just take 3 and get himself back in the dugout.
True.
The way he's pitching. 1-2 the count to Manaea, facing Stammen, who's out there for his 2nd inning of work. And curve catches the inside corner, so Manaea will head back to the dugout, give him a rest. So one away now to the top of the order, and Mark Canha.
Well, the deal of the summer is A's Flex Ticks. Save up to 30% off ticket prices to catch some of the biggest matchups of the season, including the Padres, the Giants, and the Yankees. A's Flex Ticks can be redeemed for any game this season. Save 30% and buy A's Flex Ticks at athletics.com/FlexTicks.
So here's Canha, who's had another big game. Canha, a walk, a single, and a single. Both his singles knocked in runs.
I agree with you about Sean Manaea.
Yeah, get back in the dugout.
Yeah, the other boys are taking care of business offensively today, so they don't need his bat.
Canha hustling down the line, but Stammen's going to beat him there. 2 outs. And that'll bring up Laureano. So 4th at bat in the game for Ramon Laureano. Ground out, strikeout, and then he reached on a fielder's choice. They're playing day baseball up in Seattle today with the Astros and the Mariners. And that being the rubber game of that 3-game series, but it's all Astros today. They lead the Mariners 8-0 in the 6th inning. Odorizzi and Kikuchi were 2 starting pitchers in that game. Odorizzi's still in there. Kikuchi is not. So that is where the West stands right now. A 6 back, Mariners 7 back. The Astros will be off tomorrow. They will be in San Francisco to play the Giants over the weekend. So we'll be keeping a close eye on that. And for the Mariners, they are also off tomorrow. The Mariners are going to start a 10-game road trip this weekend. They will be in Texas for 3, in Tampa Bay for 3, and in New York to play the Yankees for 4. So a long road trip coming up for the Mariners. So that'll tell you a lot about the Mariners. See where they're at when they finish that trip.
Yeah.
1-2 pitch. That's a swing and a miss, and that's a good inning for Craig Stammen. As gets a couple of strikeouts. Bottom of the 6th coming up. Manaea back to work. The A's made a big trade this morning. They acquired outfielder Starling Marte from the Miami Marlins, and to get him, well, it wasn't easy. They had to give up Jesus Luzardo. Still very highly thought of with the A's and all around Major League Baseball. A young left-hander with great stuff, but to get somebody like Marte, that's what you had to give up. And the A's felt like they needed offense, and they got a very, very good all-around player in Starling Marte. Marte is 32 years old. He'll be a free agent after this year, so it's really a rental. So you give up Luzardo for 2 months of Starling Marte, or hopefully more than 2 months.
That'd be nice. Get him in October and see how deep it can go.
Olson grabs, Olson tags, and that's out number 1.
But I think from the standpoint of Jesus Luzardo, it could be going home. He's from the Florida area. Change of scenery for him. And who knows, maybe looking at the control that the Marlins have to 2025. So with Stammen due up at next, his at bat is going to be Eric Hosmer hitting for him.
Starling Marte, I mean, he's won a couple Gold Gloves. He's a terrific outfielder. All of his big league time has been in the National League, so we have not seen him. I remember him walking off the A's in Pittsburgh.
Yeah, exactly.
3-4 years ago with a home run. But
do you remember that?
He's been with Pittsburgh, Arizona, and this was his second year with the Marlins. He's not a huge home run hitter, but he's got decent pop. But he's excellent hitter,
and he's
very fast.
And his speed is unbelievable.
So he's, and I think you said it earlier today, maybe in the pregame show, but he really is a 5-tool guy.
Yeah.
I mean, he's got a great arm, great defense. He can run. He's hitting .307 this year.
And when you have somebody that has a home run power, but not trying to hit home runs, they just happen. Says a lot about him.
So the A's made the move. It's a big move. Probably a little bit controversial, giving up Luzardo. But let's hope that it helps the A's get to the postseason. Three and one now to Jurickson Profar. Padres have not had a base runner in this game. And there is the first base runner. Profar walks.
Padre fans finally something to cheer about. Actually, they cheered back in the first inning with Snell finally got an out through a strike.
Here's Hosmer hitting in the 6th. Hosmer last night was 1 for 3. He had a single and a walk. Missed again. So all of a sudden Mania can't find the strike zone. That happened quickly.
A mound meeting without the pitching coach after a walk and first 2 pitches out of the strike zone. I think from Scott Emerson's standpoint, he likes that.
Taken all the way, and that's a strike. Big swing by Hosmer, and he missed it. Hosmer in the middle of that huge 8-year contract that he signed with the Padres. This is year 4 of that 8-year deal. Shallow center, and Elvis Sanders cannot come up with it, and it drops in for a hit. Elvis tried to make the over-the-shoulder catch, could not do it. And that's the first hit for the Padres. It's a bloop hit.
Over the shoulder is always tough, and you know it's the first hit. You're trying your best as an infielder to get to the ball, and unfortunately, after a big swing and a miss by Hosmer, this time shortened the swing a little bit softly, and Elvis almost got it. That would have been a miraculous play had he come up with it. Ball just kind of slicing towards the line away from Elvis Sanders.
So now to the top of the order, and Adam Frazier. Frazier goes after the first pitch and fouls it back. Frazier, a ground out and a strikeout, one of 9 strikeouts for Mania in the game. Frazier hits it toward Olson, spins out there on to first, and Minaya over to cover. Throws just a touch late. Frazier beats it, so it'll be a fielder's choice. And Frazier runs well, and he's coming out of the left-handed batter's box, so that gives you an advantage.
Sean Minaya, though, immediately, as soon as the ball was hit to the right side, he took off to first base, losing his cap. As Matt Olson going to second base, a little bit of a low throw. So there's a good hustle by both Frazier and Minaya getting to the bag.
So with runners at the corners and 2 outs, Fernando Tatis will hit. Tatis has struck out twice, both times swinging. So 2 for 5 in the series. Grounded toward Chapman. Chapman scoops it up. Throw is in time, and the Padres do not score. So Minaya gives up a hit, but no runs. 7-0 after 6.
For tickets and parking starting at $120. Need more than 4? Well, you can add on tickets. They're available with this deal. Don't miss your chance to see the Giants, the Yankees, and more with this amazing deal. Your family 4-pack awaits you at athletics.com/value.
What's everybody looking at?
Who is this guy?
Bushy has found video of the new pitcher, Nabil Chrismat. 25 games, 2-1, 3.47 ERA. Chrismat.
One thing they'll tell you is that don't look for too much, and he loves his changeup.
Nabil Chrismat. Well, Stammen goes 2 innings, 4 strikeouts, gives up just 1 hit. So he did his job, keeping these from adding on. 88 miles an hour, drops it for a strike to Olson. Lowry to follow, and then Murphy here, top of the 7th. Chrismat is from Colombia. Pitched in 6 games with the Cardinals last year, now with the Padres. See the changeup. 82 miles an hour.
Yeah, he'll throw it a lot. Throw it more than his fastball. And also, look at all the video you want, but man, you got to get up there and look at it and realize that you really can't tell how a pitcher is throwing based on what is shown on an iPad.
Big shift. Olson goes the other way toward left center field, and nobody's going to get it. And Matt Olson is going to have a leadoff double. A nice job of hitting. He really stayed back, and not only, that's a off-speed pitch that's toward the outer half of the plate. That's a hard pitch to stay back on.
You saw how frustrated he was when he kind of fouled the ball back that was off speed, and then maybe realizing that's what he's going to go to. Went to a slow curveball, and Matt Olson, who's so good going opposite field, took one there.
24th double for Matt Olson. So that'll bring up Lowry. Lowry out in front, just foul. Lowry, a sac fly and a couple of ground outs so far today. Lowry with that sacrifice fly in the first inning now has 50 RBIs on the year. That's Machado drifting over near the seats, and Manny Machado is going to have enough room. So 1 out here in the top of the 7th inning. Hey, Ace fans, Xfinity Mobile delivers fast nationwide 5G on the most reliable network. Save on your wireless bill with Xfinity Mobile. Nice look at the concourses.
Wide concourses.
Yeah.
It's a beautiful stadium.
Outdoor. Like you said last night, and I would guess the A's are staying in the same hotel that they did the last time we were there, but it is literally connected to the ballpark.
Yes, so
it's kind of a nice deal.
So the itinerary: no bus, walk to the park. That was for last night. And today, maybe buses, just simply because it's getaway day. They are busing into Anaheim?
I would guess, yeah.
So they'd be busing for sure for that. Yeah, you're right.
I think we bust maybe 3-4 years ago from Anaheim to San Diego.
Exactly. That's right.
On a Sunday night, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, you're right.
Oh, 2 to Sean Murphy. Well, there are stops in Major League Baseball on the travel circuit. I mean, all the cities, all the stops that you make, they're graded, right? They're rated.
Yeah.
Some are good, some are bad.
Yeah.
San Diego's a top 5, maybe a top 3.
Yeah, some are called rest cities.
I don't know that San Diego's a rest city.
No.
Gaslamp District is jumping, but just as far as teams, players, everybody on the traveling party, how much they look forward to going to a certain city, I would say San Diego.
Yeah.
San Diego may be number 1 as far as most popular stops for the different organizations. Some people love going to New York. Some people aren't that crazy about it. Chicago's a popular stop.
I don't know if those two places are popular right now.
Maybe not quite as popular right now. May want to stay inside a little bit more. One and 2 to Murphy. And now 2-2.
Murph doing his best to try to stay back, fouling off a couple of the off-speed pitches from Matt.
Matt Chapman to follow. That's a hanger. You think of how tough it is to hit at the big league level. You just think about the different pitchers that you face every day. You see Snell from the left side with nasty stuff, even though he wasn't really getting these hitters out very much. Stammen comes in from the right side, and then all of a sudden you got a guy who's a little bit more of a soft tosser. Off speed pitches. And you have to adjust to each and every one of those.
Well, that's why the players gravitate to the iPad. But again, it doesn't. I mean, it can show you the release points, show pitches, but I mean, you get to play against this guy like Olson. I think that was a great look of like, you gotta be kidding me. Yeah, this is it. So the main thing is not to expect too much, and Murphy's done a good job so far to make sure he's not done that.
Up the middle, Tatis has it. Tatis slings it across for the second out.
Time now for the Ram drive of the game. Happened in the first inning, and this was the blow the Athletics were looking for. 3 walks, loaded the bases, and on the second pitch from Snell, Pat Chapman unloaded a ball that took less than a second probably to leave the yard.
That was home run number 13 for Chapman.
And the fact that it was a 3-run home run, and I emphasize the number 3 because there have been so many home runs hit by the Athletics, which is great, but solo variety.
Two and 0. May have dropped down a little bit. We'll give him this. He's a fast worker. 3-1 to Chapman. Chapman also singled and scored in the 4th, so he's got a 2-hit game. Changeup right down the middle. A good piece of the catcher, Austin Nola.
Straight back off the mask of the catcher. Watch the mask. Takes it off, make sure everything's still intact.
Another changeup toward Tatis. And the throw is wide, and everybody's safe. Run comes in to score, and it's 8-0. So Tatis' throw was wide. And Chapman with the good speed may have forced the issue just a little bit. Olsen scores.
Well, it should have been the 3rd out. Should have been an easy out. Tatis got it easily. But you're right. It's the hustle of Chapman. Foot definitely off the bag. Cronenworth could not catch the ball and keep his foot on the bag.
Well, maybe the one negative statistic on Tatis is that 20 errors this year. That's the most errors in the major leagues of any position. And that's an error that probably should not be made.
No, you're right. And you know, when you see someone drop down and there's movement like that, you don't have the accuracy. That's why Elvis Andrus right over the top. Ideally 4-seam grip. You can get that as you transfer the ball from your glove to your hand before you make the throw. You want the 4-seam. You want it straight across the diamond.
Count stays 1-2 to Stephen Piscotty. He was 1 for 3. He was single in the 4th. Up the first base line. It's picked up by the pitcher. Thrown past Piscotty down the right field line. Chapman is going to be held. Now he's going to try to score, and he will score. The ball's still rolling around. Nobody wants to pick it up in the home whites. Chris Matt picked it up right on the line, and his throw to first Really, Cronenworth didn't look like he ever had a chance to even catch it, and it just kept rolling down the right field line.
I think the discussion is exactly that. Did he obstruct his view of first base? Ball off the end of the bat by Piscotty. It was not going to roll foul. Piscotty staying basically in the running path, although Chrismat pointing that he was not on the grass there inside. But the old theory is, how do you stay within that box, which is in foul territory, and then reach back and go fair?
See, if that's not a reviewable play, and I mean, listen, we've seen that. We've seen guys called out all the time. Where Piscotty was running, but it's not reviewable. So it has to be called right then and there, and it wasn't. So it's a single in an E1.
Yeah, he's inside the foul line.
I mean, we've seen guys get called out on that all the time. So single E1, 9-0, the A's lead. And the ball, when it went past first base, it didn't look like there was anybody there. It just kept rolling down the first base line. One and one the count to Elvis Andrus. So leaky defense by the Padres.
Yeah, I would, you know, the old theory is just hit him. Hit the base runner, which at that point he would be out.
Now Elvis slaps one to right field. That's going to be a hit. Piscotty's going to come in to score, and that makes it 10-0. So Elvis Andrus has 3 hits and 2 RBIs in the game. And the A's, with a little help from the Padres defense, have blown things open here in the 7th inning.
Well, the A's have done a good job of hitting the ball where it's been pitched, and good job the opposite field for Elvis Andrus. There have been some blue pits that direction, but bottom line, the approach has been outstanding.
So 24 RBIs now, and should have been the 3rd out on the Chapman routine ground ball to Tatis, but his throw was wide, and A's have now scored 3 times in this inning. This is Moreland pinch hitting in the pitcher spot. And out in the bullpen, J.B. Wendelken starts to throw. So Manaea is going to be done after 6 very good innings. Moreland pinch hit last night in the 9th inning. He grounded out. Here's the changeup, and Moreland strikes out. The A's score 3 times on 3 hits and a couple of Padre errors. 7th inning stretch, 10-0 A's.
Or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Athletics Investment Group, LLC.
Sean Manaea gave up just the 1 bloop hit, but his best inning probably was the first, because that set the tone after his club had scored him 4 runs. 6 innings pitched, a walk, 9 strikeouts, 90 pitches for Sean Manaea. And just basically utilize the fastball, just like you said. And did it last Thursday against the Mariners. Did it again this afternoon against the Padres.
So Manaea is done for the afternoon. When it's time for change, think Speedy Oil Change and Auto Service. Your trusted oil change, tune-up, and smog experts. As J.B. Wendelken comes in for his 24th appearance. It's the bottom of the 7th inning, and he'll face Machado, Pham, and Cronenworth. with 4 in the first, 1 in the second, 2 in the fourth, and 3 in the seventh. First pitch strike to Manny Machado. Astros still leading the Mariners. It's now 8-3. Top of the 7th inning in Seattle. Under the glove of a diving Matt Chapman. And Manny Machado has his first base hit. Just the second hit for the Padres in the game.
Fastball right down there, a little bit different look, and just like you said about the different types of pitches coming in, soft throwers, hard throwers.
Left, right.
Yeah, Chaminade starting the game. He's left-handed. And Machado sees Wendelken for the first time this afternoon in singles.
A little high to Tommy Pham. Ground out and strikeout for Pham. Angels will play tonight. They got a night game in Anaheim against the Colorado Rockies. And that's where the A's will be. Starting tomorrow night, a 4-game series against the Angels at the Big A. The A's have had pretty good success against the Angels so far this year. They're 9-3. So a 4-game set. Hit to right field, but room for Piscotty, and he grabs it. So 1 away here in the 7th. The Angels still pretty beat up as far as injuries go. We will not see Trout.
To his calf injury. Very, very hard to get over.
Yep. Anthony Rendon has been out. Upton's been out. Good pitch there by Wendelken as Cronenworth out in front. Tap toward Olsen. Olsen will tag Cronenworth for the second out. And Cronenworth 0 for 3, and here's Will Myers. Couple of strikeouts for Myers, 1 swinging and 1 looking. Padres will stay home. They will host the Colorado Rockies over the weekend. Got the Padres moving forward. They still have 10 games left with the Giants, 9 games left with the Dodgers. So they have opportunities there to move up in the standings. What they'd like to do is get a little bit closer to first place, because I looked at their schedule rate. 10 of their last 19 games are against the Giants.
Wow.
7 will be in San Francisco, 3 in San Diego. But think about that. 10 of the final 19 games. We don't know if will they be still chasing the Giants, or who knows. That's a little ways away, but that's how the season will end. A's and the Astros will play the final 2 weekends of this season. Let's hope that means something. Close pitch, called the ball a little bit inside, I guess. Second walk issued by A's pitchers. So Austin Nola will hit 2 on 2 out. Right on the outside corner, strike to Nola. Nola's brother is Aaron Nola, the starting pitcher for the Philadelphia Phillies. Hit hard, left center field, and that's a base hit. Machado will score easily. Myers is going to hustle around to third. Nola's going to go into second. And the Padres are on the board. A 2-out RBI double by Austin Nola. So Nola gets his 12th RBI.
Hanging breaking ball.
So runners at second and third now for the Padres.
Well, sometimes, as we have often seen, you get a starting pitcher who's so dominant, he comes out of the game, and all of a sudden a little life occurs in an offense that was dormant.
Profar's third at bat. Ground out and a walk. Sean and I, as they like to say, he's going to get an all expense paid vacation to Anaheim, California.
That's right. Isn't that amazing?
Can relax for 4 days. That's Austin Adams, right-hander, slinging it. Profar got a good swing there, fouled it back. Padres and the A's will play Tuesday and Wednesday at the Coliseum. So it's very possible it could be the same pitching matchup as today.
Remember the time when there was no facial hair, and now all of a sudden every time you look up you see a guy's got a beard. I mean,
seems like every guy is.
Yeah.
Everyone.
It's like shift, no shift, beard, no beard.
Full count pitch to Profar. And he walked him.
Well, I tell you, watching Murph behind the plate, it looks like a difficult time either picking up the ball or so much movement.
So with the pitcher spot up now, Trent Grisham's going to pinch hit. So a couple of hits, a couple of walks, and Grisham will hit. Mascara is up and loosening for the Athletics. First pitch to Grissom, and that's low. Grisham, it's a good swing off, hits it high and foul down the left side.
The important thing for Wendelken is throw strikes.
Yep.
Moving along smoothly. Manaea consistently throwing strikes with 9 strikeouts and just 1 walk. Nothing else. You watch the starting pitcher. Of course, Murphy's back there, knows that fastball has been dominant. Fastball has been good, but that's usually the best pitch for a pitcher.
Myers is at third. Nola's at second. Profar at first. Not happy.
No.
Not happy.
No.
Good pitch there, right on the corner. So 2-2 the count to Grisham.
Thing is, Wendelken's got a good fastball. Just a matter of controlling it. And this is a perfect example of a fastball nailing the outside corner.
Pitch number 25 coming up. Strike 3 called at the knees. Wendelken gets the call. Padres get 1 and they leave them loaded. 8th inning coming up. 10-1 the A's lead.
NBC Sports California is brought to you by Toyota. With 10 hybrids to choose from, there's one for everyone. Toyota, let's go places.
10-1 the A's lead. Top of the 8th inning. Little ride on Mission Beach. Check it out. Hey, again, we said it earlier. If you're not at the ballpark, you could be at the beach. Austin Adams takes over for the Padres when it's time for change. Think Speedy Oil Change and Auto Service, your trusted oil change tune-up and smog experts. 3-2, 2.83 ERA for Austin Adams. Seems like everybody who comes in out of the Padres bullpen has pretty good ERA.
As every reliever comes in with a sinker slider, this would be the guy. More sliders than sinkers.
Started his big league career with the Nationals, and then we saw him in 2019 with Seattle. Pitched in 29 games for the Mariners, and now his second year with the Padres, and he was part of that trade last year that we were talking about. Outside corner strike. There's your slider. There's Jorge Mateo, who's the new third baseman. And Hae-Sung Kim is at short. So Tatis and Machado are out. Not close. 3-1 the count.
3 out of the 4 pitches, sliders. The one strike was a 93-mile-an-hour fastball, which kind of surprises a little bit why he doesn't use the fastball a little bit more, especially to be able to spot it the way he did to pitch to Canna. It's almost like a Romo slider.
There it is again. So now it's 3-2.
Romo doesn't throw as hard as Adams, but still throws a lot of sliders.
Canna 2 for 3 with a walk. A couple of RBIs, and that one is way off the plate. Easy take for Canna, and he's on base for the 4th time. Canna came into today 6th in the American League in on-base percentage. He may move up a slot. Five walks now issued by the Padres. And here's Ramon Laureano. Gets the call there. Ramon can't believe it. No sense in arguing, right? Just stays right back in there. Fastball 95 miles an hour. So you're right, there is some velocity there.
That's an amazing thing, but I guess he just figures that fastball is hittable, slider is not, but control wise, slider not even close, at least so far.
To center where Profar grabs it. So Laureano, quiet day offensively, he's 0 for 5. So Matt Olson will step to the plate for his 5th at bat. Couple of walks and a double for Matt Olson, and he has scored a couple of runs. A little bit inside. And that was sharp breaking slider. And every once in a while you'll see him do that. Just go for a little walk. Doesn't need to do it a whole lot. And you see a sweeping slider coming in on your hands, and you foul it, and then the next pitch is a fastball moving away from you.
See, I think that's exactly right, Kai. He walked away thinking, wait a minute, this slider, is it supposed to be backdoor or is it coming in on me?
Who knows, right?
Yeah.
And that is a swing and a miss.
Well, from A's Cast Live to The Build, take MLB's top podcast with you on the go with in-depth shows hosted by Chris Townsend, Ken Corrick, and Vince Cotroneo. A's Cast is your #1 destination for all baseball headlines and stories. Listen along at athletics.com/A'sCast.
So here's Lowry. He jumps on the first pitch. Jed today 0 for 3 with a sacrifice fly.
It's amazing what happens when you score early. It takes a lot of pressure off the pitcher. And you say, okay, we've got our runs. Let's keep adding on.
Jammed a little bit. And that is Kim who grabs it. So the A's get a leadoff walk, nothing else. Bottom of the 8th coming up. A's 10, Padres 1. Here's the game summary brought to you by your local Toyota dealers. As Ray said, score early. The A's have done that. 4 in the first, 2 in the second. They've kept adding on. 10 runs, 11 hits, no errors for the Athletics. 1 run, 3 hits, 2 errors for the Padres. Sean Manaea, great again, so he's on quite a roll right now. 6 shutout innings, 90 pitches. He had 9 strikeouts. Chapman with the big blow, 3-run homer in that very first inning. And way too many pitches for Blake Snell. He never looked comfortable. Gave up 7 runs, 7 hits, 4 walks in 4 innings. So the A's trying to get out of San Diego with a W. Maybe start a winning streak this weekend in Anaheim. Diolis Garrett takes over. So he will take on the top of the order. But remember, Tatis Machado out of the game. So 30th appearance for Diolis Garrett. First pitch. Frazier hits it toward Olsen. Nice play. Perfect throw on the run. That is a great play.
He is the best at doing it. It's amazing. His athleticism. Garrett to cover, and you better be ready to cover because the ball hit to the right side, and anything close to Matt Olson, he's going to catch it, and you better be ready to go.
A couple defensive changes. Seth Brown is now in left field. Tony Kemp is at second base. So with 1 out, here's our first look at Ha-Seong Kim. Kim smokes one down the left field line, but it's foul. Jumps on the first pitch from Garrett. So Kim, he's not looking for a walk. 1-1 to Kim. And that curve misses badly. Kim from South Korea. Not a big guy, 5'9", 170 pounds, 25 years old. Hits that one hard, right between Chapman and Elvis Andrus for a base hit. Kim singles.
Very aggressive, like you said, Kipe, and reached out, took the pitch a little bit away from him, and yanked it into left field.
So that is hit number 4 for the Padres. And here's Jorge Mateo. Yes, Jorge Mateo. He was with the A's for a while, at least in the minor leagues.
Very fast.
He was fast, yes, indeed. He was part of the Sonny Gray trade. It was Dustin Fowler, Jorge Mateo, and James Kaprielian. Here he is. To the Athletics for Sonny Gray on July 31st of 2017. And then the A's traded Mateo to the San Diego Padres on June 30th of 2020 for a player to be named later. That ended up being Junior Perez. A's had high hopes for Mateo, but just
Yeah, they did. Yeah.
Just never completely put it together. Never got to the big leagues with the Athletics.
Yeah, they gave him a lot of opportunities in spring training, but I mean, I always enjoyed having put the ball in play, which sometimes was difficult. Like that.
Good pitch by Guerra, so Mateo strikes out.
I figure put the ball in play, utilize his speed, and really should not hit the ball in the air. Good breaking ball, curved ball that just kept going down, down, down. And Mateo, just a little bit of contact.
First pitch to Tommy Pham on the outside corner, first strike. Tommy Pham 0 for 3. Like Pham just got a piece of that one. Pierce Johnson looks like he will come in and pitch the top of the ninth for San Diego. Padres have lost just one time in interleague play. They're 9-1 against the AL West. Each team plays 20 interleague games. The A's are 8-6 in interleague. So they'll have 5 more interleague games left after today. None in National League parks. The Padres will be at the Coliseum for 2 next week. Then the Giants later on in the year come for 3. And that's it.
And I think that'll be good too, because still don't believe, even though Sean Manaea, some of the guys can hit, but most can't. So the DH, plus I think it makes it a little bit more difficult on the pitchers. It's a full 9 hitters.
Chapman hustling down. Chapman calls off Murphy and grabs it, and that will do it. So we are through 8 innings from Petco Park in San Diego. All A's today. They lead it 10-1.
Join our A's Kids Club presented by Delta Dental. Today, when you join, you'll receive exclusive plus events. You'll receive exclusive plus events that the whole family can enjoy. A portion of every membership benefits the Oakland A's Community Fund. To make your kids' day and purchase a 2021 A's membership, visit athletics.com/kidsclub.
So it's the top of the 9th inning. And the new pitcher is Pierce Johnson, 2-2, 3.03 ERA for Padres right-hander. 42 strikeouts in 32 innings. Curve first strike to Sean Murphy. Chapman to follow, and then Piscotty. Murphy 1 for 3. He's got a single and a walk. He's getting off some pretty good swings today. That one was kind of a hanger. 0-2 pitch. High fastball, and he popped it up. And who's going to grab it? Adam Frazier, the shorter one, reached up and took it away from Cronenworth. The taller guy usually wins out in these.
I was going to say, rarely do you say the shorter guy got it.
Situations. It's just you know, it's just science, you know. So here's Chapman. Big afternoon for Chapman. 2 for 4. 3-run homer, a single. He's reached on an error, and he has scored 3 runs. So it's great to see Matt Chapman filling up the box score offensively.
Plus, he's got 4 games out in Anaheim, which usually is a good place for him. So maybe today is a good setup, good time for him to get going, to get ready for the 4-game series against the Angels.
Not go on the high fastball.
I think that was even close.
The A's will send Frankie Montas to the mound tomorrow. The A's know who they're throwing. We have not seen the probables for the Angels, but it'll be Montas on Thursday, Bassett on Friday, Irvin on Saturday, Caprillion on Sunday.
You got 5 guys every 5th day, and that's basically it. Like you said, for Sean Manaea, a 4-day vacation weekend in Anaheim.
So we do know Alex Cobb is going to pitch tomorrow. So Montas and Cobb, the matchups. Alex Cobb having a pretty good season, and I would imagine there's people checking around him as far as a trade. The rumor is that Shohei Ohtani is going to pitch on Sunday. It is not official, but that is out there. So that would be, as always, a good show. No pun intended. Pops off the glove of the catcher Nola, so the count is full 3-2. Strike 3 call. Ryan Blackney's trying to get on out of here.
Good take by Matt Chapman. Unfortunately, the good take by Matt Chapman didn't result in a walk. Figure Pierce Johnson likes to throw the curveball, and that, you mentioned the guys have good numbers out of the pen. Well, it's not a pin that comes in and throws 98 miles an hour. A lot of sliders, a lot of changeups, a lot of curveballs.
Piscotty hits one fouled on the right field line. No, but it seems like, and again, we're basing this off what we have seen, Ray. But I have heard this about the Padres bullpen is, walk people.
Yeah. What if you get a call like that?
Certainly helps a little bit. Adams walked Canna last inning. That's the only bullpen walk in this series by San Diego. That makes a difference.
For sure, yeah.
Bullpen guys come in and throw strikes.
And considering what Blake Snell did,
that's for sure.
It's 4 innings of work, 4 walks.
Piscotty fouls it back. Piscotty's got 2 hits today. 2 for 4 with a run score.
Well, there's going to be a couple of outfielders disappointed with the trade of Starling Marte, because it's hard to take out Canna leading off, hard to take out Laureano, who really can play anywhere. So it'll be interesting to see what happens starting tomorrow night in Anaheim, assuming Marte arrives and is in the lineup. And you figure roster move's going to have to be made, right? For tomorrow night?
Yeah, Jacob Wilson could go back. But we don't know exactly what the A's will do. Who knows? Could be more trades coming. You never know.
Yeah.
We shall see. The trade deadline is Friday at 1 p.m. Pacific time. Good take by Stephen Piscotty to even the count at 2-2. Been a fair amount of movement the last couple days. Tomorrow could get a little crazy.
Yeah. And Friday morning.
Swing and a miss, struck him out. A couple of strikeouts for Pierce Johnson. So, bottom of the ninth coming up with the A's holding to the 10-1 lead.
For a 3-run home run, I mean, it's all offense. I mean, how about this? 10 runs, 11 hits, 5 for 11 with runners in score position. So maybe just the announcement of a trade spurned the offense of the Athletics, and everything woke up. Beautiful day in San Diego, and the A's have come out very strongly and lead 10-1, giving up just 4 hits from the pitching standpoint. Sean Manaea, no hitter through 5 innings. Finally gave up a hit in the 6th inning. And that was a bloop base hit by the left-hander.
So Guerra stays out there in the 2nd inning of work. We'll try to wrap this thing up.
And amazing, Eric Hosmer, the pinch hitter, lefty, gets the first hit, the only hit that Sean Manaea gave up.
Cronenworth is 0 for 3. Nasty pitch, split finger.
Got a good change up, split change.
Manaea went 6th, and Wendelken pitched the 7th. Guerra the 8th, and Guerra again here in the 9th. Cronenworth drops one into left field for a base hit. 5th hit for San Diego.
Good hitting by Cronenworth. The pitch outside instead of trying to pull it, just went with it nicely, and does a good job of hitting. Pitchers always want a hitter to try to pull the pitch, and if they do, they're going to roll over, hit a ground ball.
Jacob Wilson is in at 3rd base. So this is Will Myers for his 4th at bat. Myers has struck out twice, and he has walked. Astros still leading Seattle. It's now 11-4 in the top of the 8th inning. Rubber game of that 3-game series.
The A's came into today's game, I mean, dropped to 10 games over 500. I'd say dropped. They were on the upward swing to a little bit of a tough stretch, and
base hit up the middle by Myers. And he's trying to break his 4-game losing streak today. So back-to-back singles to open up the 9th inning. Austin Nola. Nola has the lone RBI for the Padres today. That was an RBI double in the 7th inning. Nola goes after the first pitch and pops it up into foul territory. So 1 away.
Love to see that. Pretty good pitch to hit, too.
And here's Jerks in profile. Profile has walked twice today. He was the first base runner for the Padres. Sean Manaea had retired the first 15, make it the first 16 as he got Nola leading off the 6th inning, and then Profar walked. And then the next hitter was pinch hitter Hosmer, who got the hit. Sean Manaea, with his 6 shutout innings today, has lowered his ERA to 3.01. It came in at 3.16. Newest day. I guess he's not the newest day. He's the second newest day. Andrew Chafin. Funny, Andrew Chafin has a little bit resemblance to the former Padre left-hander Randy Jones. Remember Randy Jones?
Right, yeah. Maybe just as goofy. Randy Jones. Talk about a quick worker. My goodness. He and Freddie Kendall work so fast together. If they went an hour and a half, it was too long.
Profar drives one toward the right field corner, and Piscotty's going to have to play it off the hop, and it takes a weird carom, bounces towards center field. Run's going to come in to score. Second and third, 1 out, and it's 10-2. Kind of like what we call the jagged edge out there in right field, and it kind of hit. Hit that wall at that strange angle.
Yeah, and if you go and play just 2 games, that's tough to familiarize yourself with that, because look at it from there, you could just see all the different angles, how it could come off the wall. And it definitely did that.
So Guerra is done here in the 9th inning, gets 1 out in the 9th, but gives up 3 hits and a run. So the A's new left-hander Andrew Chafin coming in, bottom of the 9th. We'll be back. Trying to put something together here in the 9th inning. They have scored 1. So we get our first look at Andrew Chafin in the green and gold of the Athletics. Very good numbers from the Chicago Cubs this year. Chafin. So 43 appearances, 2.06 ERA. The opponent's batting average just 154.
I think this is good for him to get into a ball game for the Athletics, his new team, and for the A's to get a chance to see him.
So he'll face pinch hitter, not a pinch hitter, he's hitting in the ninth spot, Caratini. So Caratini, who was in the lineup last night, and he had a couple of hits last night. He is a switch hitter. And the first pitch is dropped into right field for a base hit. Myers is going to come in to score. So now it's 10-3. Profar was able to go all the way around to third base. So on the first pitch, Chafin throws. Caratini just kind of dropped it into right field.
I like the A's. That's a good job of hitting by Caratini. The A's have done that, did that all day.
So now to the top of the order, and Adam Frazier. Frazier swing and a miss. Frazier 0 for 4 in the game. Pop-up foul. Andrew Chafin, a lot of years with the Arizona Diamondbacks. Pitched a lot of games for the Diamondbacks. And then was traded to the Cubs last year. Stayed with the Cubs this year. And looking at his career numbers, Ray, this is the best season of his career. And he's been a pretty good reliever for a long time. I think when he was with the Diamondbacks, he was a little bit more of a specialist, a lefty specialist. But, and you know, there's not as many of those guys out there. And the guys that were lefty specialists, they need to figure out how to get right-handed hitters out, and he has done that.
Yeah, with the 3-batter minimum for sure.
1-2 pitch is hit foul.
As I said, he had 6 pairs of shirt socks in his locker.
He had to choose, man. Didn't know which one to choose.
Well, the ones they had last night.
And hustling is Profar, and he will score. No pitch in the dirt. Murph tried to block it. Profar scores, 3 runs in, and now it's 10-4. Caratini goes to second.
A hard-breaking ball. Murph just couldn't block it. As Chafin is not in Seattle whenever A's imploded with their wild pitches, the 5.
Two pitch. Jams Frazier. He rolls it foul. So 3 runs on 4 hits here in the ninth for the Padres. Grounded toward first. Olsen grabs it, and that's the second out. So Caratini to third now. Chafin will try to wrap it up, facing Hyun-Sung Kim. Came into the game and got his first at bat in the 8th inning, and he had a base hit. Got that against Diolis Guerra. First pitch, a little bit low.
You know, these trades like this for especially pitchers makes it difficult on catchers. A catcher will warm up the starting pitcher, but in the case now with the A's 2 bullpen catchers, this is probably, and more than likely, first opportunity for Sean Murphy to catch Chafin. Don't know how his breaking ball breaks. Now he does, considering a couple in the dirt. Don't know how much movement on his fastball.
Yeah, I mean, it's not like spring training where guys go through a bullpen every other day.
Exactly,
right?
exactly. And, you know, you're scheduled to see certain guys and make sure that you know that you've caught everybody. You're familiar with them.
One and two. Chafin trying to finish it off. Here's the pitch. And comes inside to even the count at 2-2. Comes inside again. I don't know how Kim got a piece of that, but he did somehow. This is a very strange foul ball. Oh, it hit the umpire. I was going to say, how did the ball land right there after the foul ball? But it got Ryan Blakeney.
Stripping his left arm, looking at the ball hit his back. Maybe it hit him a lot of places, or affected a lot of different places in his body.
Sharp slider, and Kim. Okay, Kim likes the ball inside.
Yeah.
He's looking inside, Ray.
But he got a base hit on the pitch that was away from him when he first came in the game. I think he's just one of those that he's a good contact hitter.
Line the other way. So 2-2, 3 runs in for the Padres. And that's a swing and a miss, and that should do it, and it will. So the Padres make a little noise in the ninth, but nothing to worry about as the A's score early, score often, and they get a split in this quick 2-game series. And these two teams will see each other next week at the Coliseum for another 2-game set. So Sean Manaea gets his 8th win of the year. Matt Chapman with a big 3-run homer. So the A's will have a happy bus ride to Anaheim. 3 hours and 29 minutes was your time of game, and the attendance was 35,350. Final score today from San Diego: the Athletics 10 and the Padres 4. We'll see you tomorrow night. A's and Angels from Anaheim. Time now for A's Post Game Live, brought to you by Toyota.